humor on the internet is Ooh! If you have ever stepped on somehow turn them into As I begin my commentary, imagine that you are standing beside me, coffee in hand, watching the day unfold with the sort of life-changing surprises that only a construction site can provide. The morning begins with a group of workers arriving one by one, each carrying a determination to start the day's spirit. However, the idea of a spirit start quickly becomes a distant memory. For the sake of our story, Ray walks through the life who believes the universe aligns itself with ours. Dusts his hands together as if preparing to has different as Ray lifts one hand, the opposite hand swings gently taps him on the shoulder like a polite reminder that the laws of balance still exist. Ray turns around, confused. And this, my friend. As I stand there observing, the sun begins to climb slowly above the sky, and the sight grows brighter.
Yeah,
Another word,
right.
whom I'll call them, and simple to carry. Then picks up a stack that is slightly taller than necessary. One sheet tilts forward, another tilts backward, and suddenly the entire stack begins to behave like a deck of cards in the hands of a player. Then tries to control it, spinning for a moment he almost succeeds. And settle around him like oversized down, nods to himself, and simply picks them up again as if this choreography was just part of his morning routine. While these small events unfold, the sound of conversation grows louder. A few workers begin to enter the room. One of them tests the He steps back, proud of the work, and then watches as the team becomes smooth. But the marvel of this process becomes a moment of confidence, causing him to take an unexpected step back. He leans back, the expression on his face is a flawless blend of surprise and admiration. By mid-morning, conversations float through the air in fragments. One word another talks about a recipe tried and failed to perfect. A third explains the brilliance of the someone carries a toolbox that seems heavier only to realize he not the white thing intended.
There she goes.
He lifts it, his knees bend slightly, pauses, recalculating his life choices. His friends now let me direct your attention to the scaffolding. Like a basic task. Today, he climbs the first few steps of the race. But then, as he reaches a comfortable height, he realizes he glances down, contemplating whether to descend and retrieve it or simply proceed. After a brief moment of Of course. All these moments create a rhythm. Turns ordinary tasks into delightful stories. The beauty of observing these scenes lies not in the mishaps themselves, but in the reactions of the players. They never get upset or discouraged. Instead, they embrace each small accident with humor, shrug it off, and move on. As I continue narrating, another scene catches my attention. A worker named Taylor is organizing paint buckets. He sets them up, ensuring perfect spacing, almost like a when he steps back, Caleb picks it up with a look that suggests he folds it, tucks it into his pocket, and returns to perfecting his lining of buckets, adjusting them to these are and already the sight feels like a stage of spontaneous every word of yes! Becoming part of the preparation. As the morning moves toward its late hours, I shift my attention to the area of several projects. Among them is a man named Oliver, who has always been known for his ability to turn a simplest task into a small performance. Today, his goal is to roll out a section of protective covering along the pathway. To cooperate with Oliver's plan. He places one end carefully on the ground and begins pushing the roll forward. At first, the roll decides to shift. He nudges it back, as if correcting the roll evades. Then it ensuring it stays alive. As observers, we can see Oliver seems to have a personality. He wobbles in place. Places both hands on his hips and takes a deep breath. He then crouches, examines the roll with a sense of seriousness. No one can hear what he says. Oliver raises his arms and continues pushing until the end. Gives the roll a gentle pat, the way a coach might praise an athlete. Not far from the receiving importance. This time, it involves two rollers named These panels are easy to handle, at least in theory, but they have a habit of catching the breeze. Mark holds a panel upright while Julian secures a bracket at the bottom. Everything goes smoothly as small dust passes through the panel. But once he lets go, the panel leans the other way. As if unsure with their reactions were not but the alternating taps make them look like participants. I cannot help but narrate eventually, Mark and Julian work when they stays still now, finally the midday sun rises high above the sight, brightening every corner. Lunch approaches, but before the break, Yet another amusing moment begins to unfold. A worker named Lewis is carrying a bucket of harmless construction material. The bucket is perfectly fine, but Lewis chooses to carry it with extraordinary caution, almost too carefully. As he walks,
لا حول
his
الله يا
steps
شيخ.
become precise, delicate, and overly calculated.
ده
The way he navigates the path resembles a man trying to cross a corridor filled with imaginary bars that might activate if he moves too quickly. His co-workers watch him from a distance, puzzled by his careful glance. The bucket, of course, remains exactly as it was. Across the site, one of the more artistic workers, a man named Samuel treats every brushstroke as if he is creating a masterpiece. He positions his materials neatly, adjusts his stance, and dips the brush with deliberate attention. His first stroke glides smoothly across the surface. The second stroke follows as he prepares for the third. The bird passes over, casting a brief shadow in the smooth center of the surface. His instead of making a straight line, he creates a dramatic slope. He pauses, studies the slope, and instead of fixing it, he steps back with a look of artistic pride. To the market. A co-worker walks by and looks at the slope. Samuel simply says, in the calmest tone, that every creation is made. Soon the lunch break arrives. Workers now work in the shaded areas of the city. Does not always stop. Instead of frustration, he stares at it. Tries to open a drink bottle, but the cap resists. He uses every polite method imaginable, twisting gently, adjusting his grip, tapping the top lever. Eventually, Colin as if witnessing a hidden. The next series of scenes begins with a working the boxes are smooth. He begins walking across the site with one box starts to fall. Adrian returns slowly, trying to keep both boxes balanced. He responds with a series of small bags of items, maintaining equilibrium. His concentration intensifies. His steps become remarkably calculated. For a few seconds, it seems that the boxes may break, but Adrian manages to regain control and sees them in the pride of someone who has overcome a challenge. He leans one board against the board has its own plans. A swift motion, almost like a impressed by his own reflexes. His co-worker across the street pretending the moment is more lively again, blending with the soft hum of distant machine. The sun casts long shadows across the ground. There's a roll So the narration goes on, flowing through every corner of the site. Turns ordinary into an ongoing is instead rhythm. The construction site whenever people concentrate deeply on simple tasks. Double check if even the smallest detail. A series of lightweight markers along the straight path. But Henry prefers precision. He places the first marker, steps forward, and adjusts it by a fraction. Satisfied, he places the same marker and steps back. As if he is inspecting an important piece of process. Henry notices an unexpected the shadow cast by a nearby structure whether the markers are truly able to revel the illusions or any tricks on it. After a minute of contemplation, he decides to adjust them once more. The person standing beside him struggles to notice the difference. When he steps back and surveys his work, he nods with a kind of satisfaction usually reserved for one of his co-workers walks by, glances at the markers, and says
I think insurance companies aren't going to love
Henry accepts
this.
the compliment as though he just finished construction. Not far away, a worker named Nolan is preparing materials for the next stage of the site. Nolan is an he approaches tasks as though every object deserves respect. Today he establishes he picks up each board with care and places it gently onto the stack, aligning the edges perfectly. When he reaches the top, he taps the corners symmetrical. Just as he finishes, a light breeze stirs the air. One corner of the top board lifts slightly, almost plain. Straightens the board again, and
Mày trái quá quay chắc không.
it does. Nolan smiles, as if accepting that the board can have its own.
Ê, chắc ấy được. Ấy được.
Top to keep it up. Are measuring the second of the site. Leonard stretches the tape measure while Lisa marks the spot with pen. The coordination between them is smooth until Leonard pulls the tape snaps back slightly and surprises him. But his eyebrows raise just enough to Mason laughs softly, mocking him. Experienced the same unexpected recoil. Tape again, this time with a gentle. Meanwhile, a worker named Elliot is organizing tools on a small table. He arranges them in a row, grouping them by purpose, then adjusts the spacing to create a balance.